In the 76 years Pakistan has existed, we've had 33 years of direct military rule, 5 years of a hybrid regime, and the rest where the military has controlled indirectly. Yet the only people we abuse for everything wrong in Pakistan are the politicians. Politicians in Pakistan have been maligned, demeaned, exiled, targeted, jailed, murdered. Why does Pakistan not have a better political class? Well, would Pakistan produce great cricketers if cricket was banned in the country for a decade? The political leadership, bureaucracy and the military were jostling for control since the death of Quaid-e-Azam on September 11th, 1948. A decade later, the battle was done, as General Ayub Khan declared himself the president of the country after a successful coup. This really was a moment we lost Pakistan. Feroz Noon, a popular prime minister with the backing of the Constituent Assembly, was going to restrict the powers of the Governor-General, and Pakistan was moving towards democracy. But rather than letting the people of Pakistan exercise their will, President Iskandar Mirza called in the armed forces and declared Ayub Khan the chief martial law administrator. Pakistan's fundamental roadblock to economic progress is political instability. And the fundamental reason for that instability is the inability of institutions to stay within their prescribed constitutional roles. However, in this episode of Pakistan Laws, we will be focusing on how politics, democracy, and the people of Pakistan were specifically targeted to destroy the political class and pave the way for dictators, and Ayub Khan did this through EBDO, the elective body's disqualification order. By one stroke of his pen, Ayub Khan declared the founding fathers of Pakistan traitors, criminals, corrupt chores, all just to retain power. It is ironic how military dictators in Pakistan impose martial law under the pretense of restoring democracy, but then stay on as dictators for a decade, with our history books never questioning their role in bringing Pakistan to where we are. EBDO allowed Ayub Khan to use his whims to disqualify politicians for years. EBDO was nothing but a political tool, used mainly to target East Pakistani politicians. Politicians were disqualified without any legitimate reason, simply on the basis of accusations. Even former prime ministers like Hussain Shahid Sohrawardi and Feroz Noon were disqualified. Corruption has always been a flimsy excuse to undermine politicians and democracy in Pakistan. We never question why corruption doesn't end in Pakistan when the entire political class is removed. EBDO was not a serious movement towards eradicating corruption or upholding law and justice in Pakistan. It was selectively used by Ayub Khan. And EBDO even allowed for all proceedings against politicians to be dropped if they chose to retire from politics. Politicians are only corrupt when they politically matter. Ayub Khan wasn't even pretending it was anything other than political victimization. He even later expanded EBDO to debar any EBDO politician from even associating themselves with any political party. And political party under this ordinance included a group or combination of persons who are operating for the purpose of propagating any political opinion or indulging in any other political activity. Ayub Khan even banned any habeas corpus relief for EBDO politicians using the Security Act. How can you expect politicians to emerge when you have banned political opinion, when you have banned political activity, when you have banned student unions? Ziaul took power and hanged the democratic leader. Musharraf took power and exiled the democratic leaders. And when direct military intervention wasn't an option, then the hybrid regime was invented. Article 62 and 63 inserted into the constitution by Ziaul Haq had the same purpose as EBDO. The establishment wants to control who can be elected and in turn control the people of Pakistan. This manual was made soon after partition, when two chief ministers were disqualified under the Public Representatives Disqualification Act of 1949. Democracy has never flourished in Pakistan because it has never been allowed to flourish. Representatives of the people are removed, and in their stead, pawns of the establishment are placed as political representatives. The fact that elections in Pakistan depend on electables and campaigning is based on caste, ethnicity, biradari is not a failing of the political class. It is done deliberately by the establishment to ensure no genuine political class emerges in Pakistan. We bemoan a lack of political leaders and options, but we do not mention the countless grassroots political movements in Pakistan that have been met with state violence. Student demonstrations have been shot at. Farmers protesting for their rights have been shot at. Political leaders don't emerge in Pakistan because they're not allowed to emerge. And to stop us from questioning our basic rights being taken away from us, we're told lies. Lies like we're not worthy of democracy. We don't deserve fundamental rights. Parroting the colonial ideas they internalized from their institution. They use media and the history books to paint Pakistanis as lesser beings. And the elites who benefit from their close relations with the establishment repeat the same lies. While they enjoy the luxuries of the world in the West, they claim that Pakistan shouldn't have democracy. Pakistanis deserve the danda. This Babu class thinks of themselves as Angrez. And they look down upon those who sell their votes for a proverbial keeme wala naan, but that person is way more politically informed than any educated elite in Pakistan. Because it is the poor classes in this country that have to directly interact and engage with the government every day. As the elite enjoy lives in their private bubbles disconnected from the reality of Pakistan. It is the educated, inverted commas, elite that has plundered and ruined Pakistan. Yet they blame the poor masses because they see themselves as being better than them. This is the same reason military dictators and Supreme Court judges have undermined democracy repeatedly in Pakistan, because they do not respect the people of Pakistan, their will and their choice. They are the new colonial Babu class. Pakistanis deserve democracy just as much as anyone else in the world. We're just as human as anybody else in the world. How many countries in the world have successfully defeated 3 military dictators in Pakistan? Pakistanis want democracy. And anytime elections have been allowed in Pakistan, the population has chosen wisely. No far-right leader has ever been elected in Pakistan. People like Ziaul Haq wouldn't even win their UC, let alone be allowed to become president if there was an election. Even when Musharraf tried to run an election campaign, he barely received any votes or any support. Seasoned politicians that we all hate only exist because they receive the patronage of the establishment. Ask yourself this. Why is corruption only ever an issue when it comes to politicians? Is nobody else corrupt in Pakistan? Are we allowed to have acts disqualifying them? It is a complete misnomer to use populism as a reason to reject democracy in Pakistan. Populism is a problem around the world, but it shouldn't be seen as a reason to deprive Pakistanis of their rights, their leaders and their politicians. Ayub Khan used EBDO to demonize political leaders, to give Pakistan basic democracy, as if we savages weren't good enough for actual democracy. All EBDO ended up doing was alienating the people of East Pakistan, directly leading to what happened in 1971. Whether democracy or dictatorship is better for Pakistan should not be a debate. It is democracy, only if the dictators let democracy happen in Pakistan.